Welcome to my midweek recap here for Apple and a look ahead for Thursday and Friday. First here on Monday, if you remember from my previous video, I was looking for a break above this 172 area. Price action did gap above, held temporarily as support there, but there was no follow through, nothing warranting me to take a trade and chase that move. Waited for a little bit. Got a nice green hammer candle here that did reclaim VWAP, triggered me into some 175 calls at 129. Had to obey my management rules and got out at 103 here on a break below a red candle and VWAP rejection. Nothing else to do there on Monday. Price action was just chopping around. That's not my thing. That's not how I trade, is in a range. So just waited. On Tuesday, price action came down to the support I identified from my previous video at 168.5. As it reclaimed the VWAP, I did get in some 170 calls here at 179. Half out here at 220, and the other half did trail me out at 198. Going forward here on Wednesday, internet was completely unavailable here for me on Wednesday, so I was unable to take any trades, but there was a nice dip buying opportunity here for the bulls and knife catchers if that's your type of play. I'm going to go here to the higher time frame so I can see my notes here for the open on Thursday. And what I mean by knife catchers, I've noticed over the years that when price action is in an uptrend or in a downtrend, whatever the case may be, if there's a counter trend thrust that has created what looks like an intermediate downtrend or uptrend, the third or fourth touches usually have a lot of participants to initiate a move back in the direction of the original trend. What I mean by that is price action is obviously still in an uptrend for Apple. You've had one thrust here on 11/15, second thrust here November 29th, third thrust here was Wednesday. Third thrust came down, touched that line almost exactly to the penny. Found a tremendous amount of support buyers there here, as you can see by the opening volume, and had a nice little move up here right into this intermediate trend line. Now, the two candles here that do stick out throughout the day, these could imply that price action is still fairly bearish because it did not even make it all the way up here to this trend line. But if it does break above this trend line, we'll likely see some bears having to close out their positions and lead to a nice little move up. My trade plan is going to involve a break above this trend line going long, probably in some 170 calls, and looking for a move up here to around 175. Also have a excuse me, a support plan down here all the way at 165, which does coincide with the previous support here, 50-day simple moving average, and an intermediate trend line that has formed here, which is waiting for price action to come and test it. Overall, my flag and channel here does still seem valid until there is a close outside of this channel here. So I will trade as such and remain bullish. Interesting things to also note here on the daily time frame. We're about to have the 8 and 21 bearish cross right here, which does bring in some bearish algorithms. It is a technical crossover that does trigger bearish plays, so I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. But we do have a looks like a support bubble down below price. Just because that's there doesn't necessarily guarantee that price action is going to hold, as you can see up here, and I believe there's one over here. Whenever there's been a support bubble, which should hold buyers, market makers see that, they're going to go run right through it, absorb those buyers, trigger out your stops, and then reverse and go back the right way. So that could potentially happen. It could also happen going the other way because of these sellers that are going to happen to be right up in this region here. So right now it's just it's a battle. Price action may just chop sideways, but for now I'm going to look for support at 165 or a break above 170. That's a wide range. In between there, I'm probably not going to do too much. So we'll see what does happen. This will be my trade plan for Thursday. Good luck.